Reiner brought his sword down upon Hinata, but just as it was about to strike, a clear sound echoed through the air. The sound was not produced by a sword, but by a different object entirely. The stunning woman who intervened held a feather fan, an unexpected choice of weapon. Her name was Velgrynd, the Scorched Dragon, and her flowing blue hair shimmered in the light. "Are you Hinata? Didn't my foolish brother claim that your developed and honed skills were capable of reaching us, the true dragons? Isn't that right, Tensura?" If that statement holds true, Velgrynd declared that she would not permit Hinata to be defeated in such a place. Disregarding Reiner, she shifted her attention towards Tensura. "You're correct, Velgrynd-sama. However, I didn't anticipate your arrival." "Haha, you're right. I had no intention of interfering," but Masayuki insisted. "Hinata-san, are you all right?" It was Masayuki who was touching Hinata's breasts. As for Masayuki himself, he appeared composed on the surface, but internally, he was in a state of panic. What in the world is happening? Due to this sudden turn of events, Masayuki completely lost touch with reality. Or rather, this sensation on my right hand is. A gentle and velvety sensation enveloped the palm of Masayuki's right hand. It was at this moment that his brain finally registered what it was, a consequence of being distracted by Hinata. As he attempted to assist her to her feet, he stumbled over a fallen pebble, causing both him and Hinata to fall. It was an unexpected and fortunate accident, to say the least. Moreover, due to their close proximity, Masayuki was able to clearly see Hinata's true face. Her widened eyes glistened like deep purple amethysts, her nose was perfectly straight, and her lips were full and exquisitely fresh. Her complexion was flawlessly radiant, devoid of any cosmetic enhancements. She truly was a stunningly beautiful woman. It was no wonder Rimuru-san couldn't resist her charms. Hinata's breath tantalizingly tickled his nostrils, and the sweet aroma of her breath made his mind swirl. If it weren't for Velgrynd's previous embraces and experiences, he might have succumbed to sheer delight and fainted. Although it felt like an eternity, the entire incident lasted less than a second. Masayuki's brain suddenly rebooted, realizing that he couldn't keep gazing at her indefinitely. Hinata's eyes widened in surprise, and Masayuki couldn't help but think, of course she did. "It's not what it seems." Deep within his heart, Masayuki screamed, denying the situation. As he struggled to rise and come up with an explanation, his face grew increasingly pale. Just now, a sudden jolt ran through Masayuki's back, signaling that something had passed over him. A sense of unease crept over him. Masayuki, following that was Velgrynd's cry, not filled with anger towards Masayuki, but rather genuine concern. In fact, right at the moment Masayuki fell, someone had launched an attack. Velgrynd was the only one who anticipated it. It was an assault even Tensura failed to detect. She was about to urgently contact Moss when Masayuki inadvertently evaded the attack by falling. If he hadn't stumbled, his life would have been abruptly ended. Truly, he was a fortunate young man. His luck had once again played a significant role. Whoa, was I really the target? Masayuki, who realized this fact belatedly, paled in a different manner. However, he was fortunate that the danger had passed. Then, Hinata took action. It would have been extremely perilous and foolish to remain motionless in a targeted location. "Tisk, impossible. I never expected you to evade my assassination attempt." A man clad in a black costume with pristine white wings on his back expressed astonishment. "It was Arios. Those who oppose Masayuki are my enemies." "Well, that's how it is. I won't allow you to lay a finger on His Majesty." With those words, Venom and Minutes joined the fray. Shortly after, Bernie and Jiwoo also made their appearance. "I was entrusted with protecting His Majesty's person, yet I failed to detect the assassin. For this transgression, I shall." "No, it's fine." Bernie and Jiwoo had been concealed, guarding Masayuki, unaware of Arios lurking within their perimeter. It was not their fault, but rather a significant oversight. Nevertheless, Masayuki panicked and felt the need to deny their responsibility. If he didn't, they might have taken the blame and resorted to drastic measures like committing suicide. Thus, he decided to instruct them to focus on the enemy for the time being and let the matter go unanswered. As a result, the four of them armed themselves and confronted Arios to protect Masayuki. Reiner, unable to finish off the cornered Hinata, appeared frustrated. Vega, on the other hand, wore a smirk, relishing the situation. Arios' attack had failed. Felway was displeased with the plan's failure just when it seemed to have succeeded completely. Additionally, Reiner's subordinates were still alive and well. With the presence of Masayuki and Velgrynd on the battlefield, the situation had become even more chaotic. The residents of the royal capital anxiously listened to the broadcast. Those who could see the images were fixated on the screen. Although Reiner's words were unsettling, there was no doubt that Prince Elric was aligned with him. However, as the battle intensified, people grew disenchanted with Reiner's cruelty. His actions were unbecoming of a knight and deemed despicable. Moreover, it wasn't Reiner's knights who were valiantly defending the capital, but rather the Holy Knight Order and the Templar Knights under Hinata's leadership. Regardless of whose words were true, the people wanted to place their trust in Hinata's knights. Some still supported Elric, but the number of Elric's supporters dwindled. When Hinata found herself in a dire situation, everyone prayed for her safety in front of their screens. Their wish was granted with the arrival of a certain individual. Soft whispers escaped the mouths of those who witnessed the radiant figure. It's the Hiro-sama. Hiro-sama. It's the Hiro-sama. It's Masayuki-sama has returned. Masayuki-sama has returned as the emperor. And it didn't take long for them to become a huge chorus. Masayuki, Masayuki. Everywhere, in the underground evacuation shelters and beyond, the ground trembled with cheers. So, how much longer do you plan on groping my breasts? And sorry, it was completely unintentional. Just kidding. I understand it was an accident. You can't be seriously upset about a simple breast rub, can you? Hey, Masayuki, feel free to touch mine as much as you want. Politely declining wasn't an option. After all, Masayuki was still a young man. Hinata-sama, Cardinal Nikolaus shouted as he hurried over and supported Hinata. Her limbs were still impaled, and she couldn't stand on her own. I'll heal you right away, he said, panicking as he skillfully cast a powerful high-ranking holy magic, High Heal. Hinata quickly recovered and returned to the battlefield. The rearranged battle resumed. Hinata-sama, are you sure about this? Why don't you leave this to Masayuki Dono? No, there's no problem. I'm done waiting around. Well then, I'll take you seriously, so be prepared. Damn you, you're the one who killed the king, you wretched sinner, and now I'm done playing with you. I'll kill you. No matter what, you'll never defeat me, you coward. Interesting that you say that, but it's you who's the coward. Tisk, you've got it all wrong. I went easy on you because you're a woman, you know. I was trying not to hurt you too badly. Still, I can't stand your attitude. Is that so? Well then, prove it to me. I won't show you any mercy, even if you beg. Fine, I'll grant your wish. I'll cut you over and over again. Reiner charged at Hinata. Unfazed, she readied her phantom pain. Their swords clashed. Despite the power behind his swing, it was no match for Hinata. She evaded Reiner's attack gracefully and struck at the weak point in his body. Reiner let out a cry of pain. The intense sensation coursed through his body, momentarily bringing him back to his senses. What is this pain? Didn't I become powerful and immune to such feeble attacks? Now die. Deadened rainbow. With a fluid motion, Hinata pierced Reiner accurately. Each strike was agonizing and tormented Reiner. This is too much. If I can endure this pain, but his mind couldn't handle it. Reiner's mental state had been shattered, and even with his significantly enhanced physical body, his mental defenses remained weak. Absorbing the phantom had not strengthened his mental fortitude. Help me, Vega-san. The pain won't go away. Reiner tried to heal himself, but he couldn't mend his fractured mind. Overwhelmed by fear and suffering, he lost his usual composure and couldn't act rationally. Additionally, his enlarged spiritual body prolonged the time he spent in agony. It was a dire situation he hadn't foreseen.